But it's things like local community groups often recommend dog professionals, don't they?
Yep.
You know, if someone's had a good dog trainer, they'll put it, you know, where can we go for puppy classes? And people put it on there. So it's worth kind of dipping into those, isn't it? And just seeing what's on there. And some of them you can advertise on. So just popping things on there every now and then.
Yeah.
And if that's a place where I think in a general sense, you know, Facebook is the I would say the main platform where dog owners hang out and they're looking for help, would you say? I mean, this is a massive generalisation, isn't it?
I don't know, you know. I would say there's a massive shift on to TikTok.
But young kids hang out on TikTok, don't they? Do
I
you
agree.
hang out on TikTok, listeners?
No, I don't.
Viewers, do you? I don't know.
I don't.
However,
However,
it fries my brain. It makes me it gives me a headache just looking at TikTok.
Yeah, it's not my favourite platform. But again,
Maybe
what are the metrics you need to know? And there are a
trainers.
lot of people that are shifting over to TikTok, and families are consuming it a lot more.
Yeah, potentially.
So even though it is a younger market, realistically, if you've got older children in a house and your target clients are family dogs, and the kids are going, oh, wow, this trainer's done X, Y, Z and all of that.
They're going to be influenced as well, aren't they, by the kids?
So it's...
Yeah, maybe. But maybe it's me with my old-fashioned hat on, thinking of...
No, it's because everybody defaults to a platform that they like and know.
Yeah.
Which is why ours is Facebook, because that's what we technically grew up with when the internet came out.
Yeah, that's true.
Facebook was the staple one that was there.
And I guess because our community groups are on there and... we have a nice base on there, don't we?
Yeah, but that's where we know our target audience is. So ultimately, if you don't know these metrics, that's what you need to find out. So we've had clients recently say that they get a lot of stuff through Instagram. So I'm like, okay, well, don't spend your time splitting it over Facebook and Instagram, then just go all in on Instagram.
Yeah, if Instagram is
that's
bringing the
working,
results.
do that and do it really, really well.
Yeah.
If it's Google, do that and do that really, really well. So all of these are the free things that you can be doing. Mm-hmm. You've just got to invest some time in trying to find out what it is that and where it is people are finding you from.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just your time. It's gonna impact. Shouldn't be any more costs for you. And that brings us nicely on to the last one, which is again Google, and it's the reviews.
Yes. Reviews, testimonials, whatever you want to call them, they are so important. And I think everybody needs to have a strategy for gaining those reviews. Google is always going to be my personal favourite because it's what's worked for me in my business. I did go through a phase of getting people to do it on Facebook, but again, from gathering the metrics and speaking to clients and stuff, they were using Google more. So all of my review generation goes onto Google. My process is every time we are coming towards the end of a program with a client, I start nudging them with, can you do a Google review? And I'm outwardly asking for it. I think that's one thing we're not good enough at doing. Or again, it's that mindset thing of,
am I good enough to warrant a review?
Yeah.
Do they like what I'm giving them?
Or surely if I've done a good enough job, they'll go out of their way and do it themselves.
I
without
heard
the
that
prompt.
this week one of our coaching clients said this. Oh, I never pushed it because I would assume if they wanted to give me a review, they would have. And then we spun it by saying, if you have an amazing experience at a restaurant or something, do you always think about it? Unless like you get a prompt sometimes, an email saying, how was your experience? Review us. And usually that gives me a prompt to go, oh yeah, it was really good actually, I'll do that. But if I just come away, I've got my evening, I'm getting home, I'm thinking about the next day, I'm going to just forget. So prompting is really good actually, and don't feel like you're just pestering somebody. If you ask a couple of times and they don't do it, you might want to kind of think maybe they don't. But
I don't know. I've had one of my clients recently actually. So she's been with us for 6 months or coming up to 6 months, and we started our prompt process about 3 months in, because it gives me another 3 months to annoy the crap out of them basically. Going, do me a review. And she kept saying, yeah, I'm going to do it. You guys are amazing. Absolutely love it. I was like, awesome. A couple of days would go by, nothing there. And I'd be like, oi, can you do that review, please? So I do like the the air quote professional
Formal,
ones where
yeah.
I'd use my email template and go, right, this is what we're doing. And then because of the relationship that we've established, I'd drop her the occasional voice note and then I'd do a video. Honestly, I think I added it up the other week because I was curious because I've been bugging her for a while to do it. I think I've asked her 24 times.
What?
24 times.
Oh, wow.
But she's done it. And now that's a 5-star Google review.
You
And I'm
bullied her into it
great.
in the end then.
Bullied her. Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, guys, don't do that.
But she
24 times.
But she wanted to, I knew she wanted to do it.
And as well, it comes back down to, I was about to say before you even mentioned it about the client relationship thing, because the more you know your clients inside out, you know they're a bit useless and they're just a bit forgetful or life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way. And so if you know that, you can push them. But if you don't know them very well, and this is again back to this whole thing of if you haven't got very long-term clients and you don't see them that often, you would probably feel more cautious about asking that question.
Yeah. But definitely don't stop after you've asked once or twice. Like I'd easily ask about 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I need to push mine a bit more then.
Yeah. Yeah. But without asking, you're not going to get anything.
No. So this has been an interesting conversation for us because maybe I need to nudge people a little bit more than I already have been then.
Yeah, honestly, it's so important because we know, again, from a society point of view and from a human point of view, everybody looks at reviews. Like even on Amazon, you go and you find something.
Yep.
And even if you know you really want it,
You've got to be validated by those
You still
reviews.
can't help but scan down to the review. I did it yesterday. I bought Clay a new pair of wellies and I was like, I'm just going to check out the reviews. Why? They're wellies. What are they going to say? They're waterproof? Yes, I hope they are. They're wellies. But it still happens. And it's something that, oh my God, my sister and my mum, they are obsessed with reviews. Like if there is one bad review, they will not do it. They won't buy.
I don't know about you, but when I look at some people, you can segment off like the 1-star reviews and then the 5-star reviews. I never do the 1-star reviews because I don't want to know. If I've got something in my head that I know I want to buy, I'll just look at all the good ones.
But that's it. So again, you're validating your own choice and you will search for the ones that are going to do well for you. So you need a strategy behind your reviews in going, I would hope that you would know that you have delivered a kick-ass service. And even if you haven't necessarily got the result, which I think comes into that imposter syndrome a little bit again, going like, oh, well, they called me out for this, but the dog's still doing it a little bit, so I failed. I'm not going to ask her for a review on that. That annoys me because I'm like, well, I bet if you've worked hard enough and you've got the relationship, that client's not going to think that you failed because you've probably come a million times further than they would have done without your help. So ask for the bloody review. Like, get it in. And if anything, I think there's a fear element behind, oh, but what if I get a low review? And ultimately, you take it as feedback. Make sure that you comment on all of these reviews as well.
Yeah,
that's really important to do.
Comment back, yeah.
Not in a confrontational way. But again, really build all of this stuff. But this goes back to, and again, it's a whole other episode in itself, but if you are offering a kick-ass service where you know that value is of the highest focus of your time and energy, you're naturally going to get a good review. But if you don't ask for it, you are not going to get it. Life is too busy. And in the nicest possible way, even if with that amazing relationship that you have, you're not going to be on the forefront of somebody's mind to go, I'm going to really help you out.
Going back to what you just said about commenting on the reviews, even if you get a bad review or you don't get a 5-star, you get a 4.9-star review, don't see that as defeatist. Go comment back and just say, first of all, just agree with what they've said. Thank you so much for your review. Really appreciate it. I'm really sorry that you felt that way. And offer them some way of like making that better for them. So even if it's just a verbal, message me and I'd love to chat to you about it more so I can find out what's happened and I can make it better for the next client or something like that. So if I ever see those reviews where I've seen a really low review, like a 1-star review, and I've looked at it and the comments, because you do see it sometimes, don't you? The people get the backup. The business owner's like, oh, well, don't come back then, or something like that. Well, you don't ever want to put something like that. But if you see that the person has tried their hardest to understand their pain and that they may not have received the service that they should have, but there's maybe a solution to it, or there's an alternative method of communicating with them and they can have a little chat about it, or some way of making things better. I would always look at that and go, do you know what? Fair play to them, because they're obviously trying to help, you know, that person out.
Yeah.
So that can make a huge difference as well. So even if you get the worst happens and you get 1-star review, your response back to that person, other people will see that and it will have an impact on how they see you as a business owner.
Yeah, it's so true. The only thing that really annoys me about people asking for reviews is when they do it in such a way as to go, oh, I'm a small business owner and this really helps my business grow.
And when you get those threads on Facebook and everybody does them and they keep sharing the thread,
it drives
the same thread.
Insane. And I think it comes from a place of, again, of I don't know how to run a business. So I'm just going to copy paste all of these things. But when you are asking for a review in such a way as to go like, it really helps my business grow, it just comes across as a little bit as a little bit unprofessional.
Needy.
Instead of going, do you know what? Like, I would really like a review. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just the way it's said.
I feel like I deserve a review, really.
Yeah. It's like, just give me feedback. Yeah. I'd like to think. And again,
the service I've offered you is amazing.
Yeah.
So I feel
and this comes down to your relationship. But I would genuinely like to think that if you were going to give me anything that's negative or constructive criticism, you're not going to be doing that in the review, because we would have had a relationship where you can tell me. Or we would have been able to address it much earlier than the review.
Yeah.
And I would like to think that that is why, to date, and I thank my lucky stars every day for this, but I've managed to get 55-star reviews. 5-star, like, they're all glowing, and they're not the little one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think there's about 2 or 3 in there where I'm like, oh my God, was it worth it? Like, a great service.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks for that. That really helps.
Sure.
And then others are like paragraphs. But I love those. I love the little stories, because ultimately that's what I have very unintentionally clearly given to my clients to kind of write about and go, you've got a lot to write about. So they do.
And it's obvious you haven't put a gun to their head and made them write that story. Mm-hmm. It's their own, off their own back, isn't it? Which is lovely.
Yeah. So do a quick whistle stop recap of the 5 points then. So she's trying to get up on her phone now.
It's supposed to stay on there the whole time. So, number 1, be more visible.
Yep.
Number 2, simplify your offerings. Think of the client journey.
Yep.
Number 3, cut the fluff.
Cut the fluff.
Number 4, figure out where your leads are coming from, where your inquiries are coming from, and hang out there.
Yep.
And number 5, Google reviews.
Google reviews.
And we really hope you enjoyed this episode today. And a nice little lead from that is that we would love you guys to leave us a review. Don't forget to follow, like, and share.